Open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
Yo, it's pictures from the book
This is the voice of reason. I'm baby Oprah. Voice of reason. Voice of reason. How y'all doing out here tonight?
Hey yo!
Welcome to another episode of The Voice of Reason. I'm your host, Baby Oprah, also known as Kadi. And I have a very special guest, very special episode for you guys today, okay? Because we're going to talk about something that I really want to talk about and know about, which is millennial men and marriage. From their standpoint. I know, ladies, we have our own standpoint. From studies and research that I looked up, I saw that, it's known that millennials don't get married as much as our grandparents. And according to my timeline, niggas still ain't shit. So I have two very good close friends of mine who are married. And I think we're going to talk about everything in regards to millennials and marriage and the male perspective, and possibly give you ladies the answer as to why you ain't got a ring yet from the male standpoint. So I'm going to start off with a good friend of mine. We met in college. We're actually twins, but we don't have the same parents. Nee, you want to introduce yourself? Say hello to the listeners.
So my name is Haneef. Met Kadi, like she said, Fairleigh Dickinson. Literally like my soul sister. So she also keeps like my creative side alive. There's times where I'm like, nah, I don't feel like doing anything else. I'm done. I just gotta be a dad, go to work, just punch the clock. But she brings that creative side out of me. So, definitely appreciate you that forever. So, but we've been doing videos forever, for a couple
Yes. I don't know, I posted it before. The Maury, we used to do the little parodies. I'm probably gonna post it for Throwback Thursday again. But Neef, he's a Sag just like me. So we think alike. I go to him a lot for his advice because I think he's like the male version of me. So I like actually getting my advice from males, period. If you're a woman, I think you should at least have some sort of a male friend or family member that you go to for advice, because women, a lot of times, we just be in our feelings and don't look at things from a clear standpoint. With that being said, I have another great friend of mine. I'm sure you guys know him because I had him on a few episodes before. We have Sebastien, also known as K Proetic. You want to introduce yourself again for like the third time?
Yeah, peace to the planet. Sebastien, aka K Proetic. I was about to give my whole, but I'm not even gonna do that. Right now, I'm just Sebastien.
He's a married man.
As a married man, I'm not even gonna do the music stuff.
I admire him and his, I admire both of their relationships and just how their love story, and how they led to marriage. Sebastien, he's married. Actually, it's a small world because I used to backup dance for his wife.
Crazy.
A long time ago, and I didn't even know him, and I don't think he even knew her.
Wow.
Around that time,
I didn't know.
Because she was single.
Only Carly did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now they're married. They're both creative. She's into singing. He's into rapping, and they're just like headstrong, alike in a lot of ways. So I admire your standpoint when it comes to that, because that's a relationship, a marriage I hope to pursue, with being a creative and married. That's a lot of times being a creative, you feel like you can't have both. So we're going to get right into it, because I have a lot of stereotypes or just perceptions when it comes to marriage that I feel like a lot of us have, but it's not necessarily true. So getting the perspective of men when it comes to marriage, being a female, is very important. I want to start with, what was your perspective of marriage prior to getting married? I'm going to start with you, Neve.
Man, so I was completely different from my wife. Mm-hmm. So like she had dates like, I want to be this old, I want to be like 23, 24 when I get married, and then start a family. Like, she had a whole different perspective to me. I'm like, something in my 30s, I'll probably be ready to get married. Have my kids when I'm like 24, 25. So I had a different perspective. And then when you talk to other men and older men, and then you have their perspective influence on you, it comes off kind of almost negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, don't get married. What you get married for? So I would hear that all the time. So I'm like, like, why would I look for something like that when the older guys are telling me like that's something that's like frowned upon. Like, yo, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, like you tell somebody you get married, they're like, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm done.
You know?
That's a fact.
Like, oh, your life over, man. Why you want to get married?
Wow.
So like when you hear that, you're like, why would I ever sign up for that?
Yeah,
you know.
rushing.
So I was more so like, nah, I ain't looking forward to that anytime soon. At least at least maybe in my mid-30s. So
when you is this prior to you even meeting her, or is it?
This is even like when I first started kind of dating her as well.
Even still, you wasn't.
I was still like I wasn't
marriage.
thinking marriage first. I was thinking like potential like kids, working together as far as like starting a business, growing together.
But not
marriage
the
was
still.
not on,
That's so interesting.
It was not on my top
That's
of mind.
such an interesting perspective, because a lot of people think love associates to marriage, and I personally feel like it's so many components to marriage that love is just literally like, okay, it's the foundation. It's almost like apply for a job and it says you need a college degree, but you also need the experience. You need other qualities to make you suitable for the job. So a lot of people just think, oh, just because you love somebody, okay, let's just get married. That's all you need. But we're gonna get more into that. What was your standpoint on marriage prior to getting married?
I mean, my folks was married for they seemed to me like they had a good marriage. So it was actually something that I look forward to. I was like, yo, if I could, my father was always a good dude, mother a good woman. So I was like, yo, if I could somewhat duplicate what they got going on, then I'll be happy in my future.
So you always knew you wanted to.
Yeah. And I came up in the church, so it was that was the thing. You find somebody, you find your good woman, and eventually you marry her. Now at the time, I mean, I'm not gonna say I look forward to it. I just knew that it was gonna happen. And I didn't feel like it was gonna happen so late. I just figured, one day I'm gonna meet somebody, one day I'm gonna get married, and that's literally what happened. Like one day I met somebody that I saw myself having a future with, and then since I only felt that way with that one person, I just acted on it.
Was it instantly that feeling that you knew you was gonna marry her?
Just about. Yeah, I was.
I was young. How old were you when you knew you was gonna marry her?
I knew this was the start of something great. That's what I knew. I knew that. I knew that for. I knew right now this is the start of something. I was like, let's cultivate it. I'm saying, let's marinate this thing. Let's see. Let's get a good feel of each other and see where this goes. And then that was 2010. 2016. I was ring child.
Wow.
So I was I had my tunnel vision on. That was my end goal. I was one of them dudes that actually thought that marriage is actually dope. It's really just about the person. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole marriage is heavy too, man. Like my mother told me like, yo, when you marry somebody, that you marrying their family, you marrying their debt, you marrying all their debt, their finances, all of that stuff. You gotta be mindful of what you're really getting into.
You know what it is? It's so crazy that you said that, because I feel like in Black culture, because there's a lack of marriage, I guess projected or shown on television, that for a lot of Black people, marriage is just like, yo, you just lucky. At least from the woman's standpoint, it's like, yo, you just lucky to find somebody that want to marry you, or get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Right. You have that whole, just talk of, oh, men ain't crap, or did the stigma and stuff like that. So it's just like, if you just find somebody that want to marry you, that's it. But we don't think about the financial that comes with it. We don't think about the debt. Like, marriage is religious, but being in America is also a business decision. Like, there's no way you can marry somebody and it not affect your personal life, your financial life, and that's a lot of things that we don't look into. And if you do look into it, it's like, okay,
you
now
have your second thoughts. Like some people, they look at the weddings make people want to get married. I experienced that at my wedding. Some of my guys was. But even during, I'm on the dance floor. You make and then they come to me like, yo, bro, I'm ready. I think it's that time for me. You just like, and I'm like, at the time. But then later, I was just like, but like, wow, though. Feel me? This is the show. This is gonna be over in like a half hour. And then it's just 50 years of this. You gotta if you're not thinking like that, don't even think of the party. Anybody can go party.
You said something. Well, you said a lot of things very, very important, And the biggest thing I took away from what you said is that the fact that you saw a healthy marriage growing up, you know what I mean? So I've seen a handful, but I didn't see enough,
Okay, that I understand.
I didn't see enough. Even in my family, like, I see it. I have a handful of healthy marriages where people love each other, together. But then there's a lot of my family, like they have multiple siblings, but they don't have like the same parents. They're like, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister. but we don't have the same dad. We don't have, so it's a lot of that. You know? So I never even understood the importance of marriage. I didn't see it enough.
Right.
I've seen a few. Don't get me wrong. I do have a handful of really healthy marriages, but I didn't see it enough the way you saw it.
No,
so
you're
I
right.
didn't value it the way you value it.
Right. And I think, well, because, you know, there was a lot of that in my family too. I mean, with respect, but there was a lot of that.
Yeah,
but
with respect,
my personal household was the good one.
I want to
So I was able to be like, yeah, exactly. I saw that every day.
Yeah.
So I think that's why my vision was what it was.
I want to touch on that. I really
Right.
want to touch on that. I'm glad y'all brought up the family factor because I know he's a twin, and your brother is also preparing. He proposed to his girlfriend. He's about to get married. So I just really wanted to associate your family structure when it comes to marriage because I know for me, my family is African. They're also Muslim, so marriage is really just not an option. I'm talking about, most of the people in my family, in regards to women, you were a virgin and you wasn't even allowed to have sex until you were married.
Yeah.
So redefining marriage to become your own, because even though I grew up around a lot of married couples, my parents were married. I also grew up in a different time and also a different culture. Whereas, I grew up in the very traditional type of, seeing different traditional types of marriage as far as Muslim culture and African culture was like the wife is just at home cooking and cleaning and having hella kids and the man is just going to work and there's no fun. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's not the stuff that I experienced growing up. So marriage for me has always been a scary outlook because it's like, I feel like I have to transform into a completely different person. I have to become a housewife, which is not, and I didn't feel like that was me.
Right.
So I think a lot of people, even if you grow up in a household where you saw marriage, do you feel like you get to a point where you have to redefine it for yourself?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. I think in a sense, kind of a little bit, marriage is what you make it.
Right.
Nobody else, no two marriages is the same either. Right. You know, and there's no blueprint like, when we got married, it wasn't nobody, the reverend or whoever married you didn't say, here's a blueprint, go follow that. Same thing with parenting. There's no blueprint to be like, hey, this is how you be a parent.
Right.
Like, all right, all I gotta do is follow the book and I'll make it to the end and I'll be fine. Right. There's no blueprint. So you need to define it, whatever works for you and your significant other. So I think in the kind of way you do have to.
What was your redefining moment for you? Like, what was something, because of course, when you tell people to get married, you have a lot of the older family members coming to you like, you got to do this, you got to do it. Was there a moment where you like, okay, no, this doesn't sit right with me, I'm going to do it my way, and start your process of redefining what marriage was going to be for you?
Did I have a moment? That's a good
question. Was it like a light bulb moment, or was it
not quite a light bulb moment? I just always knew it came to a certain point. Remember I was talking about how I didn't see the great value, but like a year before I got married, I was like, I'm ready to get married. And I wanted to do certain things the right way. I wanted my kid to grow up in a house, because I was born in a house, and I felt as though they needed that. So I was like, I want, marriage, I want the house, I want X, Y, and Z. So it wasn't a single moment, but like a year before the wedding, I was like, all right, this is my vision, this is how I want to do it. And I'll sacrifice anything to get to it.
Right.
So not a moment, but
it was a process.
It started to happen.
For you, was it a moment, or was it like?
Then I realized I had to redefine it.
Yeah, because even though you grew up in a household where your parents were married, was there a point where you had to redefine it for yourself?
I came up in a Haitian household, but it was very Americanized. But, clearly, my mother did more of the domestic work and my father was working more. But, like, I feel like in today's generation, this is a generation of women that are go-getters.
Right.
They're not about to just be home doing all of that.
Yeah.
I got a wife.
Nobody else. Slave over no stove.
We see them as more than that.
Yeah, right. we do.
My wife she cooks more than me, but like I'll cook like 2 days a week.
Right.
I'll step in and do that. Yeah. Just the other day, I did all of our laundry by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I
you got another brother that's not married? I need a domestic man.
My point is like I'm weird. I really see the team effort of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really big on the whole. So you got this role. You got this role. Like granted, she'll clean a little bit more. I'll take the trash out. So I don't think she did that yet. So there's a couple of things we can keep in our respective, like the societal like roles, so to speak.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if it just needs to get done, whoever gets to it first will do it.
Right.
And I got a woman that will just fix something real quick if it just needs to be fixed, as opposed to like, all right, he'll be home in and out.
Yeah. Okay.
You feel me? So I think we redefined it that way. Just remove a lot of those roles and just do this the way just make it a team effort.
Teamwork.
You know what I'm saying? My relationship is just
it's a lot like that as
Right,
well.
right.
Because Ariel, my wife, she's handy. Believe it or not, like she's a little prissy, but she handy. Like she hooked up the doorbell.
Here we go.
She can put together a shelf.
Here we go.
And like these last couple weeks, I've been learning how to cook. Especially, my wife's pregnant. She's 7 months last Thursday.
Oh, congrats,
7 months pregnant. Thank
The
you.
baby's named after me.
Even
Nah. I'm about to say,
but last week, she was showing me how to cook, and like, so I need to know like at least 4 meals to make to help out,
Right.
So I did a couple meals last week.
That's what's up.
Just like you said, there's no like, hey, the man should fix that, fix the house.
Yeah.
Right.
The woman should be cooking.
Yeah.
Like now we don't see things like that.
Right.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, I do it like just real quick, like whoever gets home first starts cooking.
Yeah.
So if I got a late night, if I'm out at Namick or if I'm doing whatever, she'll handle that. But if she's at church or whatever she's doing in the evening, I'll handle that.
Yeah.
So whoever comes home. And then now it's 2 of us. I mean, something's ready already.
Yeah. Right.
So we try to do it like that.
I'm glad that y'all said that because first of all, if I was in your house, I'll make sure I come home late every day. But I would say a lot of
you ain't trying to cook.
Listen, I hear right. Like, you need somebody to sweep the floor or something.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of women, I know they could attest to this. You hear this a lot. Especially me growing up in an African household, they be like, if you don't cook, you're not gonna find a husband. If you don't do this, you're not gonna find a husband. And for me, just in relationships in general, where I get my confidence from in the relationship is that a man wants me for me, my personality, who I am, and we really are compatible.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of women do all this. Even I see it on social media. You see a lot of single girls always posting what they cook. And no shade, I could cook. It's just that's not what I use to promote myself for a husband.
Yeah, they do that.
I feel like a lot of women be like, my future man gonna be happy. Look at me rolling these oodles and noodles. And I see a lot of women doing that, and I personally don't believe that that's a factor in finding your husband. Like and a real husband, not someone who's just gonna put a ring and then be having a hell of side chicks and stuff on the side.
Yeah.
So what was it? What was the non-domestic side of your wife that made you feel like, okay, she finna get a ring?
Oh, that's a really good question.
You can tell me a moment, a story, if anything you can think of.
What's the non-domestic side?
Non-domestic, something that a lot of stereotypes people find and look into when it comes to I need to become a wife because I need to.
Oh, one thing I remember. I think you probably remember this. Remember the time when she went and jumped your car? She remember something. It was years ago. Something was up with her, and she just ran over with the cables. Handled that real quick.
Let me take
I wasn't there, but she called me all about it. Like, yo, I just did that. Like, and it was. I won't say it was nothing to her, but it was like it needs to be done, so I'm gonna do it. And she's needs to be done, I'm gonna do it type of person, as opposed to like unless she wants me to like kill a bug or something. Then I gotta. But like other than that, like so I remember that was one, and she'll just like up and fix something. Like what's another? I'm trying to think of something else. I mean, it'll come to me, but like I saw that and I was like, yo, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's actually, and me, like, my mother, I started doing my own laundry when I was like 12. Like, I was always, like, every Saturday, my mother was like, yo, everybody pick a room. Like, I've always been, like I can handle, I didn't need somebody to do that for me. Like, if I have my own home, it'll look fine. You know what I'm saying? My clothes will be clean, the house will be clean.
Like a bachelor pad.
Yeah, you feel me? There'll be food to eat. It's gonna be home. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that's that whole, I'm gonna teach you how to mow the lawn, you're gonna learn how to fix stuff, and she's strictly gonna be in the kitchen. Like, but that's not gonna work because you feel me? You might as a man, you might need to be in that kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you probably gotta handle more of the
Seriously.
You feel me? Exactly.
I picked up a lot of roles, a lot of things that I didn't have to do. Because physically she can't do as much as she used to.
Right.
So I had to step up and do that.
What was that moment for you where you was
non-domestic? Like I said, she put stuff together as far as like she could put a whole shelf together. And, like even a TV stand, like because she's smart, like she could literally read instructions.
By the way, women follow instructions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that is true.
I'll be like, they
that is
in the book.
true. I'll figure it out.
Just gotta go like that.
I'm backwards. Like, I'll try to work and
then you'll look at
let me get the instructions.
Don't get it out the trash.
Let me go fix this out and see what's up.
I'm so good.
But so we have a dog, and the dog got out the gate. So one day I came back home and she texted me like, yo, I made a whole contraction. I think it's gonna keep the dog in.
There we go.
That is so area.
I made it because you was on the board with her in 86. She was like, oh, you tell her the plan and she can put it together.
Absolutely.
So I think I made a contraction to keep the dog in the house. So I said, I can't wait to see this contraction and the dog gonna get out. I know she is. So I get back and I go around the fence and she literally had like almost like chicken wire and like a cage. Like she built
another gate.
There you go.
And she's pregnant, mind you, while she did it. And the dog can't get out no more.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm like, yeah, you the goat, yeah.
You know his wife?
Yeah. We were roommates.
That's
Yes. I know
crazy,
y'all.
that's
That's why.
Yeah, they were sweet. I forgot that was
Yeah,
sweet
we were
mates,
sweet
That's
mates and
crazy.
everything.
So you had history with both of us. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm compatible to both of your wives. So no,
Put the word out.
no, but I want to say this, even to add on to that question. I saw this meme, and I was really thinking about it a lot. A lot of times when people say what they look for in a partner, a husband or wife, we usually say things that's supposed to be the inevitable. Oh, he's romantic, he's loving. Like, oh, if we're talking about a romantic partner or someone that you're intimate with in that level, they're supposed to be romantic, they're supposed to be loving, they're supposed to be caring. But what we don't think about is a lot of times a partner that's designed for us is the person that is literally has qualities that not necessarily fit to our qualities, but sometimes our, you know, as people, we're like what makes up our characteristics is a lot of times childhood traumas and just personality traits.
Yeah.
What makes, I mean, I was thinking like what makes your partner directly compatible to you? Not Linda, not Cheryl, not John, not this, like you. And for me, I know I have anxiety issues to the extreme. Like I overthink a lot, and I'm and the reason why I'm a good planner is because I'm always thinking 5 years ahead. I don't know how to be present. And I realize a lot of the partners I will attract is they are present people. They don't overthink about the future. They could just be like, yo, we're in today, we're chilling, and that attracts me. And I didn't realize that that's a lot of, like, that's something that I need in a partner. Someone who could take me out of my anxiety and just teach me how to be more present.
Yeah.
What is something about your partners that is specifically designed for you that makes the marriage work?
Okay. I'm a one. So I'm married to an overthinker. I'm an underthinker. Now, and there's certain situations where we help each other with that. I can help her relax, and she can help me step up. You know, I'm the type to be like, it'll work itself out. She's like, well, actually, if we don't do this, that, then that won't happen. So once we do that, then it happens. I'm like, okay, yeah, you was right. But then there's certain times she'll be like, I'm like, yo, just take it easy. This will be alright, and then it'll be okay. And she's able to like relax. So like, I feel like that's kind of how we like balance each other right there. What's another one? I think also being married to someone that's we're both creatives that, you know, like work 9 to 5s, that balance too. So if I got a performance, or if I got this, that, you know, late night, all that stuff, it's just never an issue. Right. It's just like, because we, you know, we met through this. So she understands that. So I think that's also something that was pretty heavy. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, like you said, just the whole balance. So I'm the more creative. I'm like you know, like, yo, this is what we can do. I have an idea.
Let's do that. And she could put it more into play. So like, all right, if this is what you want to do, this is the steps we need to take.
Right.
You know? And then she's more organized than me.
Oh yeah.
You know? I'm a more creator, but she could put it in the binder. Like,
That's one thing. That's one.
And I'm like, all right, cool. You know? Like, it's like if there was ever, like, we had a show, she wouldn't even want to be, she wanted to be behind the scenes. She'd let me be in front, you know, and give me feedback.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I balance it out as well. So, like, there'd be times, like, back in the day, she'd be crying about certain stuff. And I'm like, yo, you needed to put this in perspective. Like, why are you crying about this? You know, like, this is not going to last forever, you know? This is for now, not forever. So, like, we balance each other out, you know? Like, she's her zodiac sign, she's a Cancer.
Yeah.
She's more emotional. I come on, I probably get home, she start crying, like, the podcast was amazing. I'm like, so she's very more emotional than me. Yeah. So, but I'm more, like, kind of blunt. So I'm like, you know what? Don't let,
see things.
You know, like, how you let him? He made you cry. What do you mean? Like, what? Like, this is how you come back at him tomorrow. This is what you do. This is how you come back. Right. So we balance each other out. That's good. You know?
I want to know, like, as far as you both were in your relationships for quite some time before you popped the question. How long was your relationship before?
Man, met 2010. We both was 19. So yeah.
And how old were you when you popped the question? You were like 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I think it's 4 years exactly. Yeah, 4 years.
And how long were you guys together before you?
Yeah, like 6 years. Yeah,
6 years.
We met 2010 too.
Yeah.
And I was 19. I was 20. She was 19. Yeah. And actually, no, 6 years. It was 6 years. 6 years, right.
So what is, like, I know a lot of times I think to myself, like, I don't care if I'm in a relationship for 20 years. Once I reach marriage, it is something about me that has to be different. I'm big on not giving the cow. Why do they need to buy the cow? The milk is for free. And it's not even just about physical things. I always think to myself, what is worth me marrying? Like, what makes me worth marrying? Like, even if someone was with me for 30 years, what's going to be something that get them to the point, like, okay, the marriage is going to be the level up. So I feel like, you know, it's just whether it's the way you're thinking and the things you do. I know for me, it's a matter of, for me, what marriage means to me, I look at it from a more religious and spiritual standpoint, where it's like you are before God. I don't care if your man done, you went before God and promised to be with this person for sickness to health. So before I marry this person, even if it comes to me that he slept with 3 dogs, 3 females, and 6 cats, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna just run to a divorce. Where for me in a relationship, it's like some days I could wake up on a Tuesday, it's like you chew too loud. Like, this is not gonna work. We need to be friends. Like so, I said that's something I'm gonna work on for myself, and that's gonna be the quality about me that's gonna make me worth marrying. So for you guys being in a relationship for a long period of time, you lived with your girlfriend before y'all even got married, right?
We was engaged when we
engaged. Yeah, and were you guys got married and then moved in together, or were?
Yeah, well, we got married and me and finally moved to our own place.
Yeah,
but I lived with her for like 6 months.
Yeah, so even still, you guys were around each other for years.
Yeah.
What was something that you said to yourself is gonna make you worth marrying? Like, what was the bonus they were getting for walking down the aisle?
She was getting
from me. Like, were you? What? It's a conversation within yourself. But what's something about you?
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even was marriage different for you? Like, did the relationship change after being married, or for yourself?
Yeah. I feel like it made things more official, like in the eyes of everybody. Even if it's just regular conversation, it sounds different when you tell your director or whoever it is, like, hey, I gotta go pick up my girlfriend.
Right.
It's like, that's
a fact. Yeah, that's
pick up my wife. They know that. You know what I mean? Like, even in my vows, I said, what my dad told me, like, after God, there's your wife. You know what I mean? Like, nothing else comes before that.
Right.
He's like, me, he's talking about himself, me, your mom, nobody comes before your wife. There's God and your wife.
Right.
So I feel like, I don't know, like, just like, I knew that there was another level of me, I just knew, like, I had the foundation, but I knew, like, I needed another step. And I knew she would help me get to that. And I think she knew that as well. She always say to me, like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to make a difference. You know what I mean? She's like, I don't know what it is, if it's politics, I don't know what it is, but you're going to, you're going to be kind of famous for something, and I always heard that encouragement, and I always believed that, So, I don't know, it was just something,
So, was it anything internally or emotionally within yourself where it's like, when I become a husband, not even to her, but just in general, if as a husband, I'm going to be this. Like, or I'm no longer going to be this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to be that example as far as, like, my family, my friends. Because, like I said, it was a more, sometimes a negative, connotation about getting married. And I always told myself, like, I want to make marriage look cool. I want to make having kids look cool. You have a kid and like, your life.
Right.
I'm like, no, your life is like, marriage is white. No, your marriage is white. Don't put your experience onto me. Don't put that on me. You know what I mean? Like, marriage is what you make it, and parents is what you make it. I'm gonna make it look cool.
Yes, that is so important right there. I want to get your answer. What was something about you that you sat down with yourself and was like, this is what I'm going to give as a husband? She didn't got 6 years of a boyfriend, but as a husband, this is what's different. What was different about you?
I think, one was like, I wanted to have that, like, I want to be like more of a pillar of like spiritual strength for like my future family, for like when I do have kids and all that stuff. I wanted to be like completely, right, vertically. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that to be strong. That was like my personal one. And also was just putting her like first, like making sure that I think of her for every little thing. Like it could be something as small as, I mean, not something as big as like, considering her feelings for everything, but also something as quick as like, I'm going to the store. You want something?
Yeah.
Because I was the type to just go to the store.
Don't have to think about that.
Yeah, I did that all the time.
You're like, well, you ain't say you wanted nothing.
Yeah. I'm saying, because like, so I had to. Those are a couple of things I had to keep in check, and I realized those little things, it made a world of difference when I started doing them consistently.
Yeah.
And she feels like, when you show that you're thinking of somebody, that's everything.
Absolutely.
So like that was something that I definitely told myself. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But like those were like the two biggest for me at the time. Cause I knew that if I lock those down, this is gonna be like a smooth start. Cause one thing that was a challenge, like with just the beginning, was we learned more about each other. Way more, especially during the wedding planning process.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I realized that I thought I signed on for something that I didn't know what I was getting. I mean, not to be married, but to have a wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just do it. Just invite a whole bunch of people to a party. But all of that planning and the money, all that stuff, like it was heavy, and I was just like, yo, I didn't know all of this went into that. I was just like, I thought we were just gonna, throw a party and get them out there.
Tell you to pull up,
pull
ringside.
Like, you feel me? Like, it was, and that we learned a lot about each other throughout that process.
Yeah,
you know, and it was, we bumped heads a lot, but we was able to smooth it all out, at the end. And I actually grew a lot of respect for her during that. You do. I like her organizational skills, even her tenacity. Like she's fierce. She will make sure she get her way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me, I'm kind of lax. I'll be like, it's gonna work. I'll move on to the next. She's like, yo, I want that, and I'm gonna get that. And then in a week, it's here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that I respect it. I respect that because my mother is that way. And I see the similarities between her and my mom.
You feel like you married your moms? Because they say a lot of that about that with women. Your first love, in
a way, because my mom was fierce. My mother was strong black woman. She's she's known like not to really be messed with like that. Not on some like fight, just about on some like she carries herself a certain way. So people speak to her a certain way and make sure they treat her with respect and all that, honor and all that. And she's so when she's around, people just they maneuver how they talk and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my wife, she's the same way. I feel like she's the same way. I feel like, she carries herself a certain way, like highly respectful. She's respectful to people, and she just moves a certain way, and people have to move a certain way to be in her circle. Right, you know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like the because I was really raised around like strong women.
Yeah. Same,
so
same.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Absolutely.
I knew I needed that to be like the mother of my children. All that stuff, like a strong woman that's not just gonna completely cave under pressure. That not overly emotional about every single thing. Take a couple things on the shoulder. You feel me? Like being able to just learn how to really move in this world. Because it's hard as a black woman.
Well, it is.
But, so I think that was big for me. So when I found out that she wasn't, I was like, all right, so we good to go.
Yeah.
I want to know we touched on this a little bit when it comes to the other components you need for a marriage to work. So it's not just about the love, financial, and all the other aspects. So, I was thinking about this and I was like, a lot of the time we talk about financial stability before marriage. Like a lot of people think that's the more responsible way. And I really realized, the term financial stability is very loose. You don't know, especially in this day and age, like what is being financially stable in the era of Trump and student loans and all this stuff. So I was thinking for myself, it's like, I'm big on, you can't ask a man for nothing you ain't got to offer. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit here and have all these. If we always, a big study I like to tell people to do is write down a list of the things that you look for in a man, but you second have to make sure you offer that too. Like you can't be out here, you can't be out here begging for something that, asking for someone to have something that you don't have. And for me, financial stability is like, I've never had like thousands of dollars in my savings, but I've always been a person for my family, for myself, where I'm reliable. If shit go left, just know, come to me, I'm going to figure it out. I might take a nap before because I might be stressed the fuck out, but I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a plan. And that's something that I've always been able to be reliable for myself. So it's like, for me, stability, especially in this day and age, like I've experienced being laid off before. I experienced the downs of life. It's like, you don't need someone who's just always up because there's no such thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You need someone who knows how to handle when it's time, like who don't fold when certain things don't go as well, and financial is one of those bigger things. So for me, financial stability is a mentality where you have someone where like, okay, if things go left, which that's life, if you plan to live a long life, you're gonna have the highs, you're gonna have a low. So if you decide to get married, that's just you deciding to experience the highs and lows with someone. And for financial stability is how that person thinks and how reliable that person is, and the things they are involved in to make sure that, okay, we're going to at least make sure we're good. Like, if he loses Fortune 500 company, I know this man's going to go to McDonald's and flip some burgers to make sure we're good. Right. So for y'all, how was, was financial stability a factor in deciding whether you're married or not, and what does it mean to you?
I think, like you said, it's a mentality. Because I met, me and my wife, so we met, we was in college. Starting college, you don't have no money.
Broke as hell.
You don't have no money. You can't even predict somebody's potential to make money. You really don't know. So we used to go to Walmart together to get peanut butter and jelly. So and at the same time, that's a good thing because I know she's not in it for anything else. She wasn't in it for no money. I had no money. I wasn't in it for no money because she ain't had no money. So I think it's definitely a mentality. But I think that what you really look for is when you financial stability is the understanding that at the end of the day, like you said, she's reliable. You know, she's independent. You know, she's gonna get things done. You know, and then just the sense of the ambition. You know, there's nothing like that's so attractive. An ambitious woman.
Right,
so
right,
like
right,
you said,
right.
at the end of the day, whether you got to flip burgers, you know, and you got to whatever you got to do, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna eat. You know, and at the same time, you got to present that as a man.
Right, right.
Like, at the end of the day, you know, we've been through ups and downs to where, like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff happens. You get laid off from work, like, you know, wipe your tears. We're going to eat. We're going to be all right tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're going to be okay. Like, so, like, and then I like a woman who goes to work, you know, in the sense of, like, you know, has a plan, and like at the end of the day, you can tell her like, yo, you gotta calm down a little bit. Take a day off, like take a seat back. Versus you need to get up, you need to go to work.
Yeah.
So like do something with yourself. That's you know.
Yeah. Oh,
I want that woman. I could say chill out.
Before I have you answer, I want to get into that more because it's this weird fine line for women where I just feel like a lot of times you don't know if a man wants an independent female because he want her to match his drive, or he looking for an independent female because he wants a mom. Okay, and I came up with this theory, like a lot of women, a lot of what they use as their, you know, like how we said earlier, some women will be like, oh, look, I could cook, I could this, to promote themselves as a wife. A lot of times a woman will get into relationships and the first thing they want to throw out there is, look what I can do on my own. And a lot of times doing that, from, you know, experiences that I've seen other people experiences, like a lot of times you start to attract people who attract men who use that as a crutch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Versus just being attracted by it. It's like, oh, she could do this on her own. Let me get her some more of my junk to do too. So how do you feel like, what's your perspective on that? How do women find that fine line?
It's tough, man.
I feel like I really feel for a woman who's looking for like a serious relationship, and vice versa. Like it's hard, you know. There's a lot of people, you know, they're playing games. There's a lot of trickery. There's a lot of magic going on. You know? There's a lot of buffoonery. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So like sometimes you can put out a certain thing, a certain bait, and you attract the wrong person.
Okay.
You know, you can attract the wrong
put out a worm and get a mouse.
Cat food and a raccoon come back. You like, damn, I done messed up. You know. So some people see, like you said, that independence and be like, yo, that's attractive. I want to match up. You know what I mean? Like Ariel, I have no problem saying my wife. She make more money than me, and I'm okay. Like, I make a decent penny, but she make more than me, and I'm like. I don't see it as like, yo, you know what? Shit, I'm staying home. Right. I see it as like, she almost competition. A healthy competition, but like, all right, now it's on. You know? And I verbally said, like, all right, I see you. Like, I see you. But so, like, some people, back to your point, some people see it as like, you know, a healthy competition and, you know, a partnership. And some people see somebody to get over on, you know? So like, yo, I'm chilling. Like, why I need to do that?
Right.
So sometimes you put out a certain bait and you could...
It's a matter of just really seeing what... we're going to get into this more.
And people who, you know, it's I think the problem is really understanding who has your best interests at heart. That is so hard, whether it's friends, family, whoever.
Everything.
It's so hard to really understand. They have my best interest at heart.
Right.
You know?
Right. I think a lot of women don't give the opportunity to see that because I know, especially at the age we're at now, and when a woman is ready to be like, I'm ready to settle down. Like, I'm ready to find the one and get one person. It's like every interaction is a matter of you're looking at it from, okay, I need to sign this contract at the end versus experiencing people for who they are. I know a lot of things I've seen is people be later down in a relationship beefing about stuff that you should have known this day one. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, in relationships and just as in friendships, you have fights with your friends, but it's based on, it's situational. But a lot of times when the beef becomes who that person is, it's like, how did you not know this? If you look at the pattern, it's like, this is who he is. And I'm big on not fighting. And this is in friendships and everything. In any situation I look at, is this who this person is? Or is this situational and something that I just need to, you know, different personalities. You got to let people know about your personality. I might be sensitive to certain things. You might not know that until we have fallen out about it. And then I have to let you know, that made me feel some type of way. I don't like to play in that way. But a lot of times it's who that person is. And I think with females, because we're so sim on, I need to find a husband. You get in a situation, you find, you know, just one thing you might like about them, or you might have one spark, but you don't get to know that person. And I think a lot of that, the downfall is that because we're thinking about, oh, I I'm thinking about a relationship, or we're getting
Yeah.
married down the line, so it's like the one good thing you see, you want to run with it, versus just getting to know that person. Like, you know, you can put yourself out there, but still, pay attention to what they're showing you as well.
Right.
So I know, what was the first question I asked? We can put on a tangent. Financial stability.
Yeah, financial stability.
What does it mean to you? And you know, what does that mean to you?
I mean, well, the term itself I see it as like, listen, if you're able to basically pay all your bills and still, like, you know, buy food, I guess,
Right.
and not be, you know, not be starving. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. But like, in regards to like money between us, that I realized was never an issue. Like when we first met, I was heavy on like paying for everything. So I used to set aside like $100, $200, so I'm just gonna take it out, because I felt like at the time, I felt like not like lucky. I was like, yo, I gotta take it out.
I got flex.
It was something new. It was different. I was like, yo, all right. So I was gonna pay for everything and make sure, like, you know, and I was like, yo, I'll handle all that until, like, you know, I think like my first birthday came up, we celebrated together, and she paid for that meal. But other than that, I remember, that's one thing I remember in particular when I realized that money wasn't anything huge. I remember when we have our anniversary, that's normally when we, you know, we go out and do something dope. It's the same day as I was, December 22nd, right around Christmas time, we make sure to do something dope. And I remember one year, it was, and I was just working at Prudential, that was my only job, and the NHL had a, what's the name? They had a, what do you call it? You know, there's a lockout. They had a lockout. So nobody was working. My money tanked. And I was like, hey, look, I don't really have money for this year anniversary. It was only our second anniversary, but I was so big on birthdays. I was like, yo, we gonna do it up, and I was like, yo, I don't really have the money. And she was like, it's cool. I'll order a pizza. Let's watch a movie at the house.
Wow.
And when she did that, I was like, you know what? That gave me the drive to be like, I remember that next year, our next anniversary, I took her to see the Motown musical, because I had that in my mind. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm with somebody that doesn't mind. I'm not gonna take advantage of that. That made me want to even go harder. I was like, all right, so that proves, because that proves to me that when you find somebody that doesn't see, what am I trying to say? When you find somebody that doesn't see money as an issue in a relationship, it's like, now I want to spoil you. If I get rich now, she ain't. I told her, yo, if I just hit it, whatever it is, it could be off. It is music. She's not paying another bill in her life. On everything. She's not paying another bill. I told her I got all that, because she showed me who she was. And that's not an issue. And she's not gonna take advantage of that. I honestly feel like, as my wife, that's what she deserves. In my personal opinion, because she showed me who she truly is and how that is just not an issue here.
Right.
What's valuable is your time. And when I learned that, I was like, oh, yo, don't let me hit it, man. You got me. I'm waiting for that. I'm like, yo, I'm waiting for that next thing. That's a fact.
Geez, you just made me think of something that I wanted to ask.
That speaks to your character, man.
Yeah.
And her character as well.
No, absolutely.
The fact that you seen, that was one of the moments you seen why she was in a relationship.
Yeah,
it speaks to your character, not take advantage of that, you know?
Nah, never. Because like that's another thing. I'm like, yo, because then as a man, you get comfortable with that.
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time before it's like,
right.
You know what?
But even as a female, that's the standpoint. Like, a lot of, with the times changing now, females are the workers. It's like, when, as crazy as it may sound, it is odd to find a man that's not using you. You know what I'm saying? Financially, or, you know, emotionally or anything. It's rare to find that. So when you find it, it's just like, what? You want to just go above and beyond for that person. But to get more deeper into the finances, do you guys have joint accounts? Because I don't know how I feel about that.
I got that.
So I got my own, and then I got the joint too.
Right.
So what's the joint for? Like bills and stuff like that?
Right.
You have a joint account too?
Yeah, we started it when right around the time of the wedding savings, so we put our half in there every month.
Do you guys get frustrated with how your partner spends, whether it's what they spend it on or what? Because I realize I'm like that.
She was frustrated with me at one point. It's me, like, I'll take some money from the guy, I'll buy something, but me, I'll always just forget to put it back till she remind me. And I always have a plan to do it, because I'm never going to just take money and just, I'll be like, then I'll just make the transaction. But there was a point in time where I just kept forgetting. Now I'm good. But like, she's incredibly responsible with money. And she's an avid saver. So like, that, I never worry about her when it comes to money. Granted, she spends a lot. Always a whole bunch of Amazon Prime packages, he know him more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so granted, she spends way more than me. I don't spend money like that. I don't really buy clothes like that. I don't really, I really I kind of just pay my bills and then I buy a little things I need to buy. But like I wore this dress, only wore it once. All right, that's about it. Let me get another dress to wear that once, then buy another dress to wear that once.
Yeah.
Now I got a whole bunch of dresses that's relatively new, but now they old. Let me got another. So you know how that go. Mm-hmm. So like, but I'm not mad at her doing that because like normally when she does that, that's like her personal money. Mm-hmm. But even if she did that with our account, like she's always like, responsible with like I let her fund it and all that stuff. So I don't really care about none of that.
What's the deal with you and joint accounts?
So like your situation, she's the more organized one. Like she's very Ariel would remind me, hey, mortgage,
you want it, word.
Like, hey, cable, make sure you like. She's very organized. But there's certain times like she get upset at me spending money on certain things. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, and she's like, yo, did like. But then I be having to come back at her like, yo, did you do that?
I love pulling that out. It's my turn. I was like, yeah, you got
that. Like every live at my house. Like,
word, that's
every day it's a box outside.
I feel like that would be such a struggle because what we spend our money on is just so intimate to us. Like, yeah, sometimes I could have, let's say I only have $20 in my account. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a $19 sandwich. Like my I wouldn't want anyone to see my rash decisions.
I'm either not buying the sandwich or it's a $5 sandwich.
Right.
Y'all just,
but it's like once you get in a partnership, it's like okay now it's a we thing. Like I can't just spend my $19 on this sandwich. And live conscious free or whatever the case is.
When you truly find like that person, you're gonna slowly see how that's just not gonna matter to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's all of that is really gonna go. Like in regards to you you having a joint account, even if you having a child, you're gonna go into a situation with you're gonna be scanning all these guys, making sure you gotta clear everybody. Man, you gonna ask their backgrounds, you gonna be on them. You feel me? But when you actually find that one, and he's actually that guy he says he is, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You're gonna think back to the 27.
Yeah, 27.
27-year-old you. And you're gonna
add another 8 a year to me or nothing.
What you about?
Maybe 20.
Oh yeah. That's in the future. That's But you're gonna be like, yo, man, when I was 27, I really did not see it. And you're gonna be like, yo, I was crazy.
Yeah.
Why he just doing what he got? Yeah, it's really. You're gonna be shocked at the things you're just not gonna care about.
Yeah, right. Constantly evolve.
It's slowly gonna go away.
Last question before I have y'all drop some more jewels on us. How do you feel like marriage? Do you feel like marriage makes you a magnet to these thoughts? Or
I'll be honest with you.
I'm going to drop some.
Do you feel? Even having single friends too. Add this all into the question. Having single friends. There's the whole situation where there's like being a millennial. You guys are still very young. You both are still just. It's not like y'all don't make marriage look like, okay, now I gotta put on my turtleneck and put my Bill Cosby sweater on. Y'all still out here, y'all still having fun, y'all still living your young life, embracing your 20s. How does it affect the thoughts? How does it affect having single friends? And do you have to eliminate some of your single friends, or what is it?
Nah, I still got all of this. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my friends that I have from high school, a lot of them are married now, so that works. But even my people that are single, like, we still chill like how we chill. We still do what we do. It's everything. Everything's kind of they just respect the marriage. Like if they come over the crib, they just know how to know how to move. You know what I'm saying? Don't just put your feet up all night. Don't leave your shoes anywhere. There's a woman that lives here, and so occupy the space accordingly. So that's one thing.
What about the thoughts?
Yeah, I ain't getting no attention. Man, I've been cool. If anything, like it could be a question, like, "Oh, you married?" Like or something like that. Like that could happen.
You don't feel like the demeanor changes once you tell someone you're married?
It can. You gotta see what they thinking about, what they got going on. Maybe they might see you differently. Like, oh, this guy, he's actually, he's committed. Mm-hmm. Like I know there's women out there that. Oh yeah, because marriage and commitment ain't the same thing. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Right. This ring on the outside looking in, you don't know if I'm committed.
Yeah, how married are you?
How married are you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
that's real.
But honestly, as of right now, it's been insane for me. It's been cool. Like,
Haneef?
Nah,
don't get shot, but go ahead.
Nah, I just feel like don't get shot. Sleeping on the couch, got a little too honest, baby.
I got a good couch, man.
But I think in the beginning it was tougher because more of my friends more single. A couple of them now either married or in a relationship for the most part. Still got a couple of single friends, but I think in the beginning it was harder because like you still trying to do what they doing.
Yeah,
As far as, you still want to go to the same spot.
Right,
and
right,
essentially, you can start putting yourself in the wrong places.
Right.
And my dad, he always tell me like, you can get in trouble from people, places, and things.
Right.
Being in the wrong with the wrong people, in the wrong places, doing the wrong things. So when you put yourself in certain elements, you almost asking for it.
Right.
Like certain trips I can't make.
Right.
And in the beginning, like I said, it was hard. But as the years go on, you just understand like certain things I can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can't close the club. I can't stay that long.
Right.
And it was a joke to your guys in the beginning, like, oh yeah, you gotta go on to Ariel, you gotta whip. But now after years, they understand too. You know what I mean? They started supporting. They real friends. They support it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That started to like, like yo man, now you can't hang. I'm like, bro, I'm out.
Yeah, and you have no problem doing it.
No
Before
problem.
I was just like, man, like I kind of felt some type of way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
going home.
Right.
Like, y'all clowning me, bro. Like, I'm crying here, like. But now it came a point to where it's just like I have no problem.
Right. This is what it is.
Man, we're growing, man.
Yeah.
We're the head of a household now. Like,
Yeah.
and you gotta just keep that in mind. You about to be a father.
Yeah.
You know, in a few years I'll be a father whenever you're ready to cross that. But like, I'm trying to prepare my mind to where I don't have to. To where she don't really gotta. She don't gotta worry about nothing, and she knows that a man's focused and I ain't out to the wee hours of the night doing the guys. No, I don't even want to put that on her. Nothing like that. Not saying that she's thinking I'm doing crazy stuff, but like for that to even like enter your mind at all, like I'm not bringing that. Those conversations don't need to be had. I'm home. So
I publicize. Like I have no problem. Showing I'm married. Or like posting Ariel or anything like that. Like so. As far as the other women, it's just like I make it clear, like I'm married. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm very married.
Yeah.
I want to ask one more thing. I know I said that was the last question, but
all
something I really am, and I tweeted about this. I love seeing married couples with no kids because a lot of times I feel like with marriage, it's usually the last resort.
Yeah.
Like okay, we went through all this, and a lot of I'll even say I have a child. I'm not married. It's like you and Ariel been together for a long time or whatever. Just even without getting married first, but you guys were together for a long time. Was it a conscious decision to be like, okay, no, we're going to rock out, we're going to enjoy each other, and we're not going to just consciously add a kid into this picture because you guys got married, got the house, and now she's with child. You guys don't have kids now. So is it like a conscious effort to be like, no?
Yeah.
Planning. I just love seeing that planning is a factor in love. Like it doesn't always just have to be, it is what it is. Because a lot of times I think a lot of relationships don't work out because of the lack of planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, whether you with someone for 20 years or 2 days, a kid changes your dynamic.
Absolutely.
Different situations changes your dynamic. So just having the organic experiencing each other and just experiencing the relationship for what it is before just jumping into kids and other things.
Right.
So
Cool.
was that a conscious effort?
Cool. Wait, how old were you when you got married? You
Man, 20. This was last year. I got
2018.
May 20th, 5/20/18. So I was 28. I'll be 29 December.
Oh, I bet. Same age as me.
Yeah.
I got married around the same. Yeah, it was the whole marriage.
Last year,
like all
yeah.
my friends was getting married.
Everybody was getting married.
But as far as kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that, or just not even just knocking out your goals, or did y'all have a certain plan?
Yeah, we made the conscious effort to try to get certain things done. Before the kid come in. Because like you said, the kid can change the dynamic. And you want to have that chance to get to know your significant other for just them.
Right.
Like you said, sometimes people. They do get married. Nothing wrong with that, teach his own. But some people do get married because they have a kid. Whether they realize it or not. You only got married because you have a kid.
Right.
So I really wanted to enjoy our lives. And like even when we just came back from Orlando, we went on a baby moon. That was the last trip before we have a baby. So I really wanted to enjoy. You should do a baby moon. I really wanted to let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy the house. Let's enjoy certain things before the kid hit. But once the kid get here, they're here forever.
Right.
And I told her before I left the house, I was like, she was just like, I don't think she was feeling like, she wasn't feeling it. She felt great, but I was just like, hey, the last 2 months before you become somebody's mom.
Right.
And once it happened to you, it's forever.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
Right.
But this was life before.
Right.
So just really putting an emphasis on life before
and embracing that,
embracing that person before they became a parent.
Yeah.
What about for you? And you guys don't have a kid now, so do you feel the pressure to have a kid, or how do you guys combat that?
I never felt any pressure with anything. I didn't feel any pressure with proposing. I didn't feel pressure with getting married or pressure with kids, because I always feel like I'm in control of my life. We both are on the same page of what we want to do right there. So we feel fine. I mean, granted, I come from a family where either you get married and then you have a kid literally I think I was born 9 months after my parents got married. And now that I think about it, but it be like that with certain households. People are really asking, me and my wife,
what you waiting for?
What you waiting for? Yeah. First off, I got that before I was even married. Just because of the time you've been together.
Yeah.
So that's one. And people just being like, yo, she pregnant, so when is it when? It's like when you're gonna propose, when you're getting married, when you're having a kid. You can't satisfy everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got. So we taking our time. We chilling, really growing with each other, getting to know each other before we bring a child into the mix. Honestly, I really look forward to fatherhood. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I honestly can't wait. Mm-hmm. I can wait, but I really look forward to it. I look forward to being a father. I look forward to having a son. I'm already having mapped out everything I'm about to be doing. When I get that word, I'm gonna be wild excited. Yeah. I already know that for a fact. Yeah. Girl or boy, I do want boy first, but whatever. But I know, I already know when that day comes, I'm ready to be best father imaginable. I had a great father by the grace of God, so I wanna give my So I look forward to that. However, right now, us being married for 8 months, 9 months. It was December last year, so about to be 9 months. I'm like, yo, let's chill, travel a little bit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's enjoy this marriage, and then we could start. I mean, we had those conversations already, but now then we could start. Planning it out, because you could really plan anything. You're in control of your life.
Seriously.
We accepted that. We was like, yo, man, we're really in control here. We could do what we want.
I think we don't realize that, and it's not just in marriage. Even for me, with having a kid, I had went through a moment where it's just like what you said, it's what you make it. You define the role that you're in. Your friendship is a broad title. You define the role based on the type of friend you are. Love or anything, you define it. And for me, it's a lot of the times in these new roles, the first thing you try to do is dig into what you saw other people do. So I know for me with motherhood, it's oh, I'm not as this as her. I don't know that much information. I don't do that. And it's motherhood became fun for me once I realized I made it me. What I'm into. Me and my do the photo shoots we do.
You make it look fun.
Your kids are designed for you. And once I realized that, just like marriage, the partner you have is designed for you. So I think a lot of the fear, because a lot of the research I did said millennials have a fear of marriage, because it's you hear marriage and then you associate it to, okay, now I have to have kids. Now I have to have that. I have to have this. And it's you don't really have to. You have to have whatever you want to have and make sure this person's on the same page.
I know couples who've been married for years. They don't have kids.
Right.
Because they didn't choose that.
Exactly.
And that's fine. That's up to them. I don't know what I think it's important to get that message out there. You are in control of your life.
And do not get married for a kid.
That's another thing. That's another stigma.
That's going.
I know that's a religious thing, but I think that's something that should die.
I think that is the worst thing, and that's what I definitely made an effort to not to do. Is if I wasn't thinking about it before the kid, we definitely ain't about to make it a reason for now, because it's just children are people, and these are I just feel the foundation is not just about what you show your kids, is what is felt. And you have to really make sure we put effort into the foundation of things. The other day, I'm not going to put the story out there because the person followed me, but I heard this wild story about somebody who's just about to get married, where I'm going to just put the story out there. Long story short, this person, because I'm sorry, this shit was mind-blowing. And it's so crazy, because I was just talking to the person about marriage and their wedding is coming up. They're having 2 weddings. It just was so beautiful, and I was really just talking to him so happy. Yes.
Serious bad.
But the wild part about it is a situation happened where he texted himself from a friend's phone, a mutual friend's phone. We all went out. He texted himself from the friend's phone saying, "I want to F you." So from a female's phone, the man took the girl's phone and texted, "I want to F you." Then responded to the text and said, "Word, let's do it." Now, long story short, the fiance ends up calling my friend mad times, like 3 o'clock in the morning, you trying to F my man, and she's confused as hell. So look at the message and realize this man texted himself. And the way I looked at it is like clearly and then like in the argument, the guy ended up saying like, you know, he was embarrassed, of course, but then he said to the fiance, well, you text other guys. Like, so clearly that was his get back of trying to get her to, like, understand how it felt. Granted, he didn't try to F my friend, but just for him to do that, I'm like, yo, the communication got to be way off for you to have to get your point across that way. And I'm just like, yo, why don't people take the importance of having a foundation in your marriage, like, before jumping the gun? And I feel like children don't bring that. Who you are as a mother is, the relationship a child has with their mother is separate from the relationship they have with their father. The union is different. Like, it's a lot of broken people who come from married homes. They had a great relationship with the dad, great relationship with the mom, but the way they saw love, that's a whole different experience for a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times my dad passed away, my mom would tell me stuff, like, we'll have story time and she'll tell us stuff like that my dad did. Like, yeah, he did that. And we'll be sitting there just laughing, like, you know, it didn't affect what type of father he was to us. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's y'all relationship issues. But the thing that kids see growing up is like, that also creates their experience on how they associate love and all that other stuff. So I think people don't take the seriousness of what needs to be built with marriage. That's just like...
And I think that, see, what you're getting at is as far as a lot of patience required. You know, and that's the biggest thing. And any, like, you guys, you know, sound like you guys are both religious as well. You know, so, like, in any religious book, there's emphasis on patience. You know? And a lot of people don't want to have the patience to get to know someone. Like my dad, you know, I always go back to my dad because he was like my biggest mentor to me. You know, and he just, it could take years to truly get to know somebody. Like I was with my wife, literally like we was together probably like for like 4 years. And she made breakfast one time and I didn't even finish my eggs. And I'm like, honestly, I don't really like eggs like that. It took me 4 years to finally have the courage to say, yo, I really don't like eggs like that.
That is so
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that's a small... You know, it's a small story, but that just speaks more about life. It could take you years to really get to know somebody. And people don't have time for that. And that factors into like the whole social media thing.
Yes, that's what I mean. People don't know how to. People don't know how to date without thinking about the contract at the end. Just experience people. Like just experience. Like I hate the saying, "Oh, the bond is more important than the title," because a lot of these side hoes use that as a motivation to be like. But I don't look at. I think that is so true, and I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of a man who just don't want to give you a title. I'm talking about just putting effort towards the bond. A lot of people think once they put the title on it, we locked and sealed. So then the relationship goes from us getting to know each other to this is what you're supposed to be. Now that you my man, as my man, you're supposed to be this, and that's where a lot of the conflict comes from. But when you just really look at it like, yeah, we can put a title to it, but at the same time, we're still getting to know each other. And we're still forming this bond, and we're still creating a foundation and not taking away from that.
That's throughout your relationship, that's still throughout marriage.
That's everything. You know what it is? People do it more so. I like to associate relationships to friendship a lot because friendships, you don't overthink stuff like that. You just meet someone, y'all might crack a good joke together, and be like, yeah, this is my friend. Then randomly you realize I'm hanging with this person every day. Then you realize, oh, this is my bridesmaid, or this, you know, it just happens. And I think people don't let relationships just happen. You know what I'm saying? They just force everything.
Right. Oh, that was a good point.
We could talk all day long about this. Did you want to add something?
I
want you to add.
I really just like comes back to also like sometimes you got like over time patience, you get to know people, and sometimes you have to realize like I will accept somebody for this. Like nobody's perfect. You need to understand everybody comes with certain baggage. You need to figure out what baggage you're willing to deal with and put up with.
Life is not, dating is not about knowing what you want, it's about knowing what you don't want. Because it's a compromise and you always got to compromise something, but just having a standard and what you don't want won't lead you in situations where you wake up and be like, how am I here? How did this happen? You know what I'm saying? And that's a learning process within yourself, because I know for me, even like with me having a kid, I feel like maybe you guys could attest to this because you guys have been in long relationships and have been married. I feel like different phases of life, you become a different person. And the fear of relationships is that you gotta hope that this person is compatible to the person you level up to. Motherhood has changed me. I've lost a lot of friends with becoming a mom. And these ain't even mine. Like, you know, I lost friends. I lost people because my way of thinking, I just wake up and felt like a different person. And it's like, I had to realize, okay, these people have to be compatible. And it's not even what I had to do physically as far as time. It's just how I think. It's like, okay, certain conversations don't interest me no more. So I ain't going to talk to you that much because you don't bring no other type of conversation to the table.
That's growth, man.
10 years.
We got to have a person to this because...
And I'll just add, like...
There you go.
We're going to be...
I don't want to keep it going.
Let me tell you, these married men like to talk. No, this is so much.
I just felt like, well, communication is, you know, that's key. And I feel like people know that, but I don't think people know how to communicate. So I read a book called The 5 Love Languages.
Yes.
And that book really changed my perspective on how I need to speak to how we communicate. I mean, we could talk, but it's how we do it. So, you know, there's 5 love languages. There's you know, acts of service, physical touch,
affirmation, words of
affirmation, quality time, and there's
yeah.
But I found out that hers is acts of service and mine's words of affirmation. If you give me a compliment, I'm on the moon.
Oh my
like,
God!
Yo, tell me my song is great. That was a good job. I'm just like, yo, I'm good to go. Her, she likes if she comes home and something's just done.
Yeah, that's me.
She's just like, yo, I don't got it. And she's just on cloud 9.
Yeah. Right.
And once we figured that out, our communication got much better.
Right.
Like, we have to figure out how we speak to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's so crazy with relationships in general. We think the biggest hump is finding somebody who's just committed as far as not cheating and not, you know, about you. But that's really not the work. Okay.
No, that's not the work.
If your biggest factor of your relationship is commitment and the person not cheating, just let it go. Because the real work, and I had to learn that my first time really being in love, is like, I just looked at it like, I don't cheat, so I'm a good girl. Okay? You lucky to have me. I don't cheat. So I ain't bringing up.
Cheating is the only thing that can break up a...
Yes, but I realized I'm a toxic mother. Like, I'm toxic as fuck. Like, once I, like, because I'm like, I really didn't see nothing wrong with me because I don't cheat. But then it's like, when you start thinking about just your qualities and just like words, I've dated someone where it's like, I'm acts of service, words of affirmation is not that big to me. And me being a Sag, we don't think before we speak. And I know with me, just how I grew up in my household, I have 2 sisters, we're close in age. So it's like, I grew up in a house, we talk reckless, okay? And we don't say I love you afterwards. We just come and start talking to each other again once the beef is over. So stuff like that was never that deep. And I would get this all the time in my relationship where it's like, when you said that, it'd be 3 years later. When you said this, and I really was like, really? I was not that deep.
My wife like that.
Yes.
Like her emotion, like when she takes stuff, is completely.
And you know what I say? Attracting who you need, because I always attract words of affirmation type of people. Learning that compassion and things like that.
So you got to learn over time, like you said, how to communicate. Like we had a disagreement, like the whole baby shower thing. You know, as you know, trying to put any production together, like marriage, you know, I mean, a wedding, you know, baby shower. So we had a disagreement, and like before, it would turn into like an argument. You know, but what I did, I just walked upstairs and I went in the room, watched TV. That's it. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there. I had a moment, but I'm like, damn, look at me. Being a bigger person.
That's how it is. That is bad.
And then, but I got to give her respect as well. Before, she wouldn't let it go. She'd come upstairs and want to talk. She texted me a big paragraph like, yo, I understand it's a lot of you, blah, 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 blah. And then we communicated. Next day, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Right there.
It wasn't like that. But it wasn't like that. You know, 4 years, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't like that. Now imagine if we didn't have the patience to make it to this point.
That's the work in the relationships that people don't realize. When they say relationships say work, you know, when a lot of times people post a picture of their relationship and they'll write like, we've been through a lot, and automatically I assume he done cheated on her or she done cheated on him. But I'm like, once I got into a relationship and just looking at it from that a serious standpoint, it was like, oh, they ain't talking about this work. This is the work they was talking about. Like, just getting to know someone on that level.
Even like as a man, like you find out a couple broke up, you be like,
first thing, he cheated. That's all you cheated.
You think that's the only reason why somebody will break up?
Right.
Or you just don't know yet. We break up over eggs.
Right.
I don't like eggs.
And then you'll have people tell you like the things that you know, and the part that I'm really working on with myself is just getting to a point where it's like, what is it about you that you're really willing to compromise? And I don't think I've learned that yet. Like, you know, that's a process within yourself that you have to figure out. It's not like you wake up one day and be like, you know, 2 years ago, what I was willing to compromise was nothing, like eggs. Now that I have a kid, the things I'm willing to compromise is different. Like, as you grow older, the list just changes or whatever. So it's like I had to really figure that part out for myself before my biggest fear in anything is just to wake up in a life like, how did I end up here?
Okay.
Of course, we can't dream to the level of what our potential, but you have an idea of going up. I never want to be at a point in my life where I'm not where I'm supposed to be and I don't know how. I want to at least be like, okay, I picked up the crack pipe in 2019, but I do not want to be in a life where, and I just feel like
in the crack house,
how? That is the scariest thing for me. So I feel like, you know, in relationships, it's a two-way process, and it's like you have to make sure you have your part together so you can drive it. Now you put someone in your car, they might not want to go the direction where you want to go, and that's when you got to make a decision. But at least you can't just be sitting in the car just driving. Then next thing you know, you pulling up to God knows where. Like you gotta at least be like, okay, the GPS is when we're gonna go left, giving directions, something.
You're in control of your life, man.
Right.
I think we gotta just get that message out there. You're really in control of everything you do.
With everything.
You know, nobody should be pressuring you to do anything.
Yeah.
Like you're in control of it all. Like you just make the moves that you feel you need to make. And then, you won't look back with so many regrets. So just be like, how am I here?
Right.
I feel like people don't really know that they're in control.
No, they just hope. They're just going through life with hope. And then I'm big on faith. I'm big on faith.
On faith too.
But I'm also
faith
big
and practicality.
on. Listen, faith without works is dead, and I ain't trying to be dead. So this is why it's like I try to add my contribution. But we can talk about this all day. I want y'all to end off with 2 jewels. I want you guys to give jewels to women who are aspiring to be a wife, and I also want you to give advice to men who are aspiring to be a husband or in a like 1 jewel per gender.
Okay. I think for men, I would say to take relationships serious. You know, whether it's a small level as a friendship, whether it's girlfriend, you know, whether it's marriage, take it serious.
Right.
You know, understand the value of time. Don't waste nobody's time. Don't waste your own time.
Right.
And also understand that women have a different perspective oftentimes of marriage. You know, because women, the way their minds is kind of could be a little different than men. They grew up off Disney, you know, and seeing princesses and Jasmine. And they, like, oh, you're supposed to get married.
Sometimes it's Shanae and Kilolo. It's not Cinderella. Like,
so their whole mindset is different. The way they view life up since they was 5 years old, they thought that they were supposed to get married and be a princess. You know, so keep that in mind. You know, she sees it, she values it a little different than you do. And that's what I would tell my guys.
Okay. The woman, did you have it? Yeah, that was the first.
Women, oh, man.
Don't get shot.
Women.
Well, from a man's standpoint, what else do you look for in a wife? Like, and not physical. Like, what they need to think about.
Yeah, I would say be patient and also be realistic. You know, sometimes like I'll literally, like some of my female friends, I'll literally ask, all right, what do you need in a man? And let's literally look at the checklist. Okay, he needs to be good looking. He need to have all his teeth. He need to make 6 figures. He need to have this kind of car. He got to come from a good home. He got to. And by the 20th thing, I'm like, the 20th thing, I'm like, damn, you're looking for a purple squirrel. That's what we call it in the business world. Like, you're looking for a purple squirrel. This don't really exist. So what can you do with what do you want and what do you need on this list? So ask yourself as that woman.
Ooh, that I need to.
You know, you said gym.
Yeah, that was a gym. That was a whole 40 carat. Sebastien.
All right, for the fellas, I would say, I mean, I also agree with taking it seriously, but I feel like, establish a level of patience when it comes to being in a relationship. Establish a level of patience. Put a lot of value on in regards to like building with somebody, and really get to know somebody. My mother always told me like, make sure to see somebody in every season. Basically saying like, how are they when they get mad? Drop something in front of her. You know what I'm saying? How she when she said happy.
That is a fact.
You might love her happy, but when she's mad, she's a completely different person.
Right.
Like see them in every season. Like really find the value in growing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but that requires to establish a level of patience. You don't gotta just, just run to the next. Like, yo, just focus on growing. I would get that to my guys. And of course, stay. Another thing, God, like my mother told me also, like when a man really finds what he wants, he's on that mission.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if a man, like, maybe this could be for the ladies. Yeah.
You'll know.
Maybe this could be for the ladies. Like, so if your man is kind of, if you can tell he's kind of being, what's the word? Like if he's not as focused, iffy, not too sure.
Yeah.
It might not be the one. Because when a man wants something, he go get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So like the whole like I've been with my mother a lot, but she's completely anti on like women proposing. She's like, how to get to that place? She's like, don't even waste the time. When a man finds a great woman, you not trying to lose that.
If women were meant to propose, we would be married at kindergarten. Because we in love with anybody. First crush, we would be proposing. So it's not the time for that.
That's a fact. But yeah, so I would say that, for the ladies, of course, just know your worth, know your worth, and know that, there's something. All guys ain't shit. But I'm telling you, there's some jewels out there. But you don't just find jewels easily.
It wouldn't make the jewel.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a jewel. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do a little digging without, compromising your integrity while you're digging and all that. But and yeah, for the guys, like, of course, I was about to say like stay faithful, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel like if you truly, I don't know, this could be, but I was gonna say like if you truly have that woman, you would. But I mean, I'm sure there's people that feel like
Yes.
But I truly feel like, and maybe because I've actually I've never done that.
Yeah.
But like I don't. But the reason why, I mean, it's a personal thing. I don't have it in me to just hurt somebody for no reason.
Yeah.
I feel I'm soft a little bit on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hurt.
Right.
Yeah, like you feel me?
Yeah, that's not
so I can't do that to you.
Yeah, that's not
done nothing but
You're
I
selfless.
can't. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm so and that right, like so so I'll say, fellas, exercise your patience. Be willing to grow with a woman, know them in every season. Make sure you know exactly, and to everybody, to both genders, you're in control of your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta do nothing. Nobody can really make you do anything. You're a grown man, grown woman. You move the way you want to move. Establish that, that partnership, and men put your wife first. Wives put your husband first.
Yeah.
I would say one thing I love, even though they say millennials are not getting married as much, one thing I love about seeing millennials in marriage is we really make it look sexy. We really dress it up, and you guys both touch on it. Cool. It's really, you don't have to be the old lady in the turtleneck in the kitchen, and you don't have to be that old Bill Cosby looking man. We still make it fun, and that's what makes, I think for me, marriage still a point that I want to.
Because I feel like even those people who were, if you were old sweater, whatever, if you was that before you got married, that's cool. Yeah. But if I'm me, I'm getting changed. I'm still me.
We just remove the rules. We remove the boundaries.
Because you in control, man. You can do what you want. Like you're saying, just
it's whatever you make it.
It's whatever y'all make it.
Yeah. And don't let like other people's experience,
define yours.
Define yours.
Yeah.
And that's so deep. It could be somebody that's not close to you. Somebody you see once a month, and then you're talking in the kitchen and at work. But it could be somebody really close to you. It could be a parent.
It could be someone on Instagram defining. Like we're just taking the thoughts of everyone, especially with social media.
Exactly.
Thank you both so much, very much for coming on, because this was awesome. I took some notes mentally.
All right.
And I think I'll be married by next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Oh, this was great.
That was great.